So what we see happening today is generally a delay, deny, deport, almost systematic kind of situation where green card visa processing has been slowed tremendously. There's been rising denials and challenges of even high-skilled visa applicants. Foreign-born workers are being denied because they are overqualified for their jobs. And new protocols force USCIS to give automatic denials for certain visa applications as opposed to requesting more evidence. All of this has resulted in delays which cause many people to fall out of status. That means the visa that they're currently on expires as they wait for a new status to come through, and then they become undocumented and therefore subject to deportation. When it comes to enforcement priorities, really there are none anymore, whereas previously people with criminal convictions were prioritized when it comes to deportations. Now, anyone who is here without proper status is eligible for deportation. People who have been convicted of or even just charged with a criminal offense, no matter how old, are subject to deportation, even if they are within the legal process of acquiring a green card. You even have situations where people are going in for immigration interviews and are being picked up by ICE, Immigration and Customs Enforcement, at traditionally safe spaces like courthouses, immigration offices, even outside churches and schools. You may have heard a lot of talk about public charge over the past few months. What it is a redefinition of who is considered dependent on the government to meet their basic needs. The proposal from the Trump administration significantly broadens who qualifies as being a public charge. So this means anyone who has been a recipient of SNAP, certain types of Medicare or Medicaid, public housing, even people who have medical conditions where USCIS considers them at high risk of at some point becoming dependent on the government. This proposal is currently under formal review. It has not been instituted yet, and it's important to note that they are only looking at the actual applicants for visas and green cards, not other people in the family. DACA is Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals, something in 2012 that was instituted to safeguard young people who were brought to the U.S. as children from being deported, allow them to go to school and to work, to get driver's license, depending on where they live, and live their lives. About 700,000 people are currently registered under DACA. But 2 years ago, the Trump administration moved to terminate DACA. And what is currently happening now, that move has been blocked by district courts, and only renewals are being accepted, no new applications. It is still advisable if anyone applying for even just a renewal, do it through an attorney or accredited representative. TPS, or Temporary Protected Status, is a humanitarian status for foreign nationals from places like Haiti or El Salvador, where people are forced to flee or cannot safely return due to armed conflict or a natural disaster. This has long been a bipartisan effort, and many people who are recipients of TPS have been in the United States for over 2 decades. What is happening now is that certain countries have been wiped off the list of TPS eligible, so for up to 98% of holders of TPS, their status is about to be terminated. Ongoing litigation is still happening, but as it is right now, many thousands of people, 315,000 people, are subject to lose their status. The United States has long been a beacon of hope and an example to the rest of the world when it comes to refugees. But in 2018, the Trump administration announced a historically low refugee admission ceiling of about 45,000, and even then, only about 22,000 were actually settled in the U.S. The cap for this year, 30,000. Even though the number of displaced people worldwide is 68 million. And finally, the border wall. President Trump declared a state of emergency on Friday, even though he said, I didn't need to do this, but I'd rather do it much faster. The plan is to divert military funds, including anti-drug efforts, to fund a border wall. The last time an emergency like this was declared to authorize military action, September 11, 2001. Several lawsuits have been filed, and so this is expected to continue. We don't know what the result will be. Estimates range anywhere from $12 billion to $70 billion for this border wall. But But the fact is, right now at the border, limits on the number of people who can apply for asylum have been instituted, very, very tight restrictions, and even children must wait in Mexico for the full duration of their cases, which can take up to many years to be heard and to be adjudicated.